Hello, my name is Elena Lumin, and I'm an astrologer and astrology teacher. I specifically teach Horary and electional astrology at Astra College. Soon we will be launching a certificate program, and usually I don't come out on social media. What you will see today is more of a behind the scenes kind of work that I do. I do it with the students, I do it with my clients, but I would like to share with the people who might be interested in the class and just curious about the works of Horary astrology. I would like to share a couple of examples from my case studies. So the first one is a question that I've been commonly getting last few months. In the United States, there are a lot of people now in the governmental agencies who are afraid that they would lose their job. And I got many questions like this in my professional practice. And I would like to share with you one of those charts and questions and how it was answered with Horary astrology. So, if you're completely new, Horary astrology is a specific branch in astrology which focuses only on answering questions. And it's very powerful and potent because all it requires is a sincere inquiry in astrologer to communicate with the stars. There's no need for birth time and things like this. So, it's very potent, right? Because it can address something that's meaningful for the client. So here's this first example that I wanted to share. My client is asking, should I leave with volunteer resignation severance or should I stay at my governmental job? So the history was that he's been working for a long time at one of the governmental agencies, and he was approached by his management and they told him, this week, this was asked on Wednesday, but this week by Friday, you have to give us an answer whether you're taking voluntary resignation. In that case, you would get an attractive severance, or you stay and face the unknown. And so he asked me if you should leave right now or stay, and what the astrology can advise, what can recommend is the best course of action. So let's look at this chart and see what it tells. First of all, in Horary astrology, the person who is asking the question is assigned to the first house. It's over here, and the ascendant here is Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. So the sun represents my client. We call him querent, right? My client is here. We find him on the top of the chart with Uranus close by. So that very first consideration already suggests that likely he will stay. The reason is he would stay is because Leo and Taurus are fixed signs. There is a certain predisposition to hold things as they are. In addition, Sun is in Taurus, which shows that my client is concerned with financial security, certain comforts, and his job was good for him. It was lucrative and financially good. However, he wasn't so eager to stay on it, right? There was a certain drive to break free. He was tired. He had his grievances with the job. And we can see it maybe if we use Uranus here, that there was this independence in him, right? There was this desire to break free. However, he still wanted to have the lucrative and financially stable position. If we look at the job, it is shown by the 10th house, right? So 10th house is MC, and we have Taurus here, and Venus rules Taurus. So the job is shown by Venus in Aries, which is a detrimental state, and it's in the 9th house, which is considered cadent, and so not so strong. More so, it is conjunct Neptune, which suggested that things at the work were in quite disarray, right? Like directions were shifting every day and nobody knew what to expect. The management was in disarray, the company was in disarray. We don't find any aspect between the two of them, but we find them a mutual reception. That is, the sun is in the sign which Venus rules in Taurus, and Venus is in the sign where sun is exalted. And in traditional astrology, mutual reception is when planets literally receive each other, they listen to each other, or to convert it to the human language, there is mutual respect or liking. And it is clear from this that the management, his company, do not wish to lay off my client. They respect him, right? They value him. It's just that they don't know what's coming and they're in disarray. And in Horary astrology, we always want to look at the moon. Moon shows both intent of the person, where their heart is. Here we find the moon is in the fourth house in Sagittarius. So position by the house shows where the action takes place. And the zodiacal sign shows coloring, how. So the moon in Sagittarius shows the desire for freedom. However, it's in the fourth house, which is associated with ending home. So it's kind of, to say it simply, the client kind of knows that he would need to stay put for the time being. So finally, the question is, so what I see in the chart and what I told him is that his company does not want to lay him off. He is in a strong position because the sun is in the 10th house. Things are in his hands. He may leave or he may stay. He's not helpless or powerless in the situation. But his ultimate question was, is it a good idea or what? Or will I face the uncertainty if I stay? So in order to answer this question, we need to assess a little bit more. First of all, William Lilly, a famous English astrologer, Horary astrology, he was advising like this. He said that, well, first of all, the fixed signs rising and fixed sign on MC suggests staying put. But is it good for him? So William Lilly says that if the planet, significator of our client or the moon, are applying to beneficial, fortunate planets, it's better to stay. And we find that the moon is applying to an opposition with Jupiter as the next aspect. And then after that, she's applying to a square of Saturn. So one other positive for staying is here. It is possible that you will leave in the future. However, he's not in danger of losing his job now, and he doesn't need to rush with the resignation. If we look at his second house, right, it is ruled by Mercury, showing his money. And we see that Mercury is moving to the sun, but it's going to be long in the future. Mercury also represents another potential job. Should he leave his current job, maybe in the future he'll find it. But it's not urgent or it's not really permanent that he has to do it. And so final considerations here, we can compare the first and the seventh house. William Lilly advises to do it. The first house would represent his current situation, and the seventh house, the desired, other situation. And we see that his current situation is ruled by the sun in the 10th house, which is a beneficial position. And the future is ruled by Saturn in the 8th house in the critical degree. So Saturn suggests that things might be not as easy or as hard financially if he were to leave. And although he has a choice, it is more lucrative for him, it's better for him to stay, at least for the time being. Will he leave in the future? It's very likely, because after Moon moving to opposition of Jupiter, it moves to a square of Saturn, but he doesn't have to rush with his decision. And so that's what I told him. And within a few days, he wasn't laid off and he didn't lose his job. And as of now, it's been already a month and a half, everything stays the same. He's still eager to leave, and he may leave, right? But he didn't need to rush with this decision so quickly. So that's how it played out with this Horary chart. I hope you find it interesting.